some truth to me, because some of them really like the attention. And so I'm going to give the credit where it's due. Okay, so you guys want to discuss the crown chakra? Let's discuss the crown, shall we? Well, what is the crown? The crown is, there's actually two. The crown and the stellar are actually connected, and which are also connected with the third eye. Once you open the crown chakra, you start feeling interconnected with, like metaphysically interconnected and also physically connected with everything around you and all that is. Once you open the crown, you become acquainted with the universe in a different way. You become acquainted with the universe and the unfolding of reality in a much more interconnected way. You start feeling less separate from everything around you and start understanding basically how reality works from your point of perception and also from the observer. So if you're beginning to get dreams where you're watching yourself, then your crown may be opening. You'll know if your crown's opening. I remember reading about the crown in prison in spiritual books and just thinking, man, I don't understand this, but one day I will. Like, it doesn't make complete sense to me. I would read as much information as I could, but I couldn't really grasp it. It's something you have to experience in order to understand. Um, and then once you do experience it, there's no going back. But, yeah, once you open the crown, I would probably say I opened my crown before I opened my third eye. Maybe they open around the same time, but yeah. Um, so what does it feel like? Well, it feels like a tube coming out of the top of your head. It feels kind of like a flower blooming. It feels pretty good. It's my favorite. It's my favorite sensation by far. It feels like you can feel all of the like the neurons firing off in your brain. You can feel it go outwards, up and outwards. And once you open the crown, you can begin to like time travel. You feel interconnected with everything that's ever happened and everything that ever will happen. So the stellar chakra, which is above the crown, will start giving you answers to any questions you may have. All you have to do is ask yourself and wonder. And, of course, spend time in meditation so that you can remember what you are and where you came from. And realize that once you're willing to observe your thoughts and your beliefs and how those have created the world around you, you begin to realize what manifestation is and what you are and why you're here. And you can begin to tear away at the social conditioning and the way that your upbringing molded who you are. And begin to see what's real and what's not real, and see what is reality up to? Like, what are the parameters of your reality, if any? So how to open it? Well, of course, meditation, guided meditations, visualizations, and ultimately, I got this from Sadhguru. There is no path to open the crown. You either have to trust someone fully or be crazy, because you have to lose your mind. You have to be willing to jump. There's no path. You have to jump into no thought. You have to stop thinking. You have to lose your mind. And once you stop thinking, you drop this inner dialogue, because for so long, many of us have gone throughout our lives, observing, commenting, judging, planning, thinking about a situation. And we just constantly, our minds are just going, 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 going. And once we stop, and instead of being our thoughts, we're observing our thoughts, we begin to realize the rise and fall of thinking. When you sit still and you stop taking action and you observe the rise and fall of thinking, and say, for instance, oh, I need to go make an appointment to do this for a doctor's appointment. And then you realize, instead of getting up and making the appointment, you realize, okay, well, that's a creation right there. I created a healing moment in time. I created a healthier me. That's where it began, with a thought, with an idea. And then you take action. And then you see continuous effort towards one point of focus is how something was created. So once you understand how creation works through you, you can begin to kind of like hone in and steer whatever it is that you're wanting to create. So once these energy centers are open, I feel like the crown is also connected to the hands. And once the crown is open, you can open yourself up to these light beings that come in as ideas and inspiration. It's like ethereal light beings that will come into your crown and give you ideas and inspirations. And it's a very subtle energy, but it's definitely can become a reality for you. But also, only for me while I'm asleep. I receive information through my hands, and my hands will flick in a really like quick way that I don't move my hands that way. So I mean, it's involuntary, but I'll like do clicking with my mouth, and just strange noises come out of me and strange movements, but it's all flashes of information that they don't come through in a linear way like me speaking one word after another. It's like light, sound, and information all at once. So then you have to figure out how to interpret the information after you've received it, which is something that I'm still working on, but I feel like the third eye, the crown, the hands, they're all interconnected. And with enough meditation and focus, you can develop these abilities and better understand yourself and the universe around you. One example, I was standing in the living room talking to my mom, and I just stopped and I just felt my crown open, and I suddenly had insight on the theory of relativity with a visual, like a flash of light. Like it wasn't directly in front of my face, but it was like my mind's eye saw someone sitting on a train, and when they came closer to me, it was like a pinnacle. They came closer to me on the train there, and I just saw a smiling face, and then it was like going off in a different direction, and showing me that time and space are the same thing. And I don't really know how I can explain that, but the energy that came into my body along with the visualization made me get it. Also, it felt really nice. A lot of times I'll ask my guru like any interesting questions I may have about anything in time in particular. And because every once in a while he'll drop some gems on you. But quickly I'm reminded whenever he has said to me, why don't you ask yourself? And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. You can go on YouTube and find stellar chakra guided meditations, and that can help you. But ultimately, the only way to open your crown is to jump, lose your mind. So, a good mantra to open the crown would be the Hare Krishna mantra. Krishna gave Arjuna this mantra 5,000 years ago in Bhagavad Gita, and when he came back as Lord Chaitanya in 1500, he popularized it again with Bhakti Yoga, which means devotion to his devotees. When Lord Chaitanya came back, he had gold skin. But yeah, that was only about 500 years ago. So I was really shocked to find that out studying about it, that, Krishna had been back so recently. But Krishna comes in many forms, many avatars. But and then Swami Prabhupada, when he translated the Bhagavad Gita into English, we were able to popularize the Hare Krishna mantra all over the world in the 60s. But anyways, how does the Hare Krishna mantra go? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare means calling on the power, and Krishna means all that is. And of course, Rama is just another incarnation of Krishna, another avatar. And it helps us to bridge the brain hemispheres and open the crown. And so we're calling on the power of all that is. And yeah, this mantra will help open the crown because the crown is the 1,000-petal lotus flower of Krishna consciousness on the top of the head. So when we open this crown, then we have Krishna on our side. And we can be victorious in the battle.